Hello and welcome to our podcast. My name is Finn and today we're going to be talking about healthy eating.
My name is Holly.
My name is Theo.
And my name's Aya.
Today's episode is called Taking Control of Our Food.
So, Holly, what do you think young people can do to promote healthy eating amongst their peers?
Well, for starters, maybe at break and lunchtime, they could bring in more healthy alternatives to their snacks. Or perhaps the school could start like a kiosk of sorts, I suppose, that could run during break times. I know that some schools have them, but my school doesn't, where like you could buy stuff at break, because currently you have to bring in your own things and everyone just like brings in like rubbish. And also I think young people, especially like when you're talking to your friends, you should be so less obsessed with like celebrities and influencers and just consumerism in general, because that over consumerism about like stuff like Dubai chocolate and whatnot is like, you know, it's being sold to you by these influencers and these, you know, you're just putting money in the pockets of billionaires and whatnot.
I think that young people should consume and give money to these billionaires, is what I would say if I was a silly Billy, for lack of a better term. I don't want to use any more bad terms, but think of them. That's what they are. Don't put money into the pockets of billionaires, and don't do that. Holly's completely right. You should just think for yourself and look at something and buy it if you want it. I'm not going to tell you not what to buy. I'm going to tell you buy what you want. I'm going to tell you make sure to drink water, because water is good. Fun fact, water is 0 calories. So there is no reason not to drink water, because you're not going to gain weight. I mean, you can have water weight, but it goes away. Water just stays inside you. So
Yes, and on that point, it is you know, it's okay to have a little treat now and then. But if you're going to have a little treat as well, you should probably go for somewhere more local. Therefore, not only are you helping out local people, but it's also going to be more fresh, definitely healthier, rather than somewhere it's being shipped over from like America or some foreign place. It's packed with preservatives and, you know, excess fats, and it's unusually large.
In our youth club in Studio 2, we asked a couple of people if they'd rather buy a biscuit or a piece of fruit. Let's see what they said.
I would always prefer to get a biscuit from the shop than like say an orange or an apple or a vine of grapes, because I would more likely see them in like my granny or granddad's or, you know, my parents' houses. That would be better for me just to go for a biscuit, just as like a little treat sometimes. Fruit would be like something that I would have like at least once a day, just to sort of add some variety. Well, apart from like container shops and smaller shops that don't really do fresh produce, it would mostly be like larger supermarkets, whereas biscuits you would see them everywhere. Honestly, I don't really care about how they're packaged as long as I know what I'm eating. Like. But I'd say they would be more appealing than like a piece of fruit.
Piece of fruit. I love fruit. I don't like chocolate that much. So you can't really like find fruits in like smaller shops, for example like a mobile shop. Whenever you can buy like fruits in like a supermarket, that's easier to find them.
I'm not really inclined to eat biscuits other than if they're at my granny's house. Like, I'd eat them if they were there, but if there were a nice looking like pack of pears or something, or a couple of strawberries, I'd probably get that. You're probably more likely to find a biscuit in a shop than you are to find an orange. You'd find an orange in like my local shop, but like if I went down the road to the other shop, I don't think they would have oranges.
I think it's important to like recognise when big companies are like marketing towards younger people, like bright. One of the tricks that every company uses is bright colours and images. Do you have any points on that?
Something I would say on the bright colours and the photos, I say that's definitely something for much younger children. But if you're speaking from a perspective of a teenager or a young adult, you know, you're at this age, you're not walking into a shop and being like, oh my god, it's blue. I'm going to buy it. You know, you're beyond that. When you're younger, you might have thought that way, or, oh, it's pink. I know I used to do that all the time. I'd be like, it's pink, I want it, it's pink. But it's like, at this age, that's less of a technique for marketing. I'd say it's more, again, circling back to like influencers and stuff. Like, don't fall for like what you're seeing on the internet. This random yoke in like California is like being like, this will change your life forever. Just a quick, like 700 calories, this tiny little thing. And it's like, oh, so trendy, so cool. Labubu Dubai.
You have a really good point.
I think for young people to make better choices, young people have to think for themselves. Because if you're following what someone else is saying or what some random yoke is saying to you online, think for yourself is how people can make better decisions.
See what, picking up on what Holly said, she was saying about children when they're younger, like having like pink bottles or blue bottles that really matter. Think of like where they are, like in shops. Maybe like they can be beside tills or like eye level too, like younger children.
And adding on to that, you know, seeing shops, right? See if you go to a shop, for example, go over next to the till, there's this aisle with the sweets next to the till, and what's really evil is just like it's at the eye level of the children, and children are younger, so they kind of want more sweets. That, like, it makes the children want to buy, and then the mum is like, fine, you can have it, and then gives the shop people like more money and whatever, and it's just...
Yes, and adding on to what Finn said earlier, and Theo also said about the whole thinking for yourself, it is so important because nearly everything in this modern world is fake. The food we eat is fake, and the people who are promoting it are fake. Even earlier off camera, we were having a discussion as a group amongst our youth club. Look into these people who are, you know, your role models or people who you look up to. You know, maybe they're good at something, or they're good looking, or, you know, in movies or on the internet or whatever, they have a large following, and you think, oh, you know, they must be nice. They come off, you feel almost as if you know them, but you don't. You know, you should look into those people, because more than half of those people are not honest. All they care about is money, and the things that they are promoting to you, they would never use themselves, and they know fine rightly is just pure rubbish. So, you know, and as well for children and young people, it's so easy to be swept into that. If these adults around you and these people that you look up to and you want to be like are saying, oh, you know, this is really good, you know, use this, buy this, cheap price here. And it's just, you know, it's consuming because someone else is telling you to. You need to think for yourself. You need to stop.
And Holly, to add on to your point there, I agree with everything you've been saying about influencers and stuff. It's a very good point you were making. But online is a space for everybody. Everyone has a place to exist online because it isn't controlled by a body or a government. There's no government for online, as there shouldn't be. So every influencer has a right to exist there, even including those, as you were saying, Dubai chocolate influencers or those energy drink people talking about whatever they're talking about. And for every one of those, well, for every couple of those, there's one that talks about healthy eating, tries to actually help. But then for every one of those, there's also one that talks about healthy eating, but they're not trying to help. They're trying to talk about healthy eating, whilst also trying to make you eat unhealthy because they're losers. But for every one of your, as you said already, Dubai chocolate influencers, there's a healthy eating influencer who's helping you, who's trying to help. They're just trying to they're trying to help you meal prep. They're trying to help you go to the gym, work out, play football. All things people like to do.
Yeah, Finn, on that point, obviously, I agree completely. There is a place for everyone on the internet, but the message that I'm more saying is people need to be more aware that the internet isn't real. And as you were saying, you know, of course there are those, like, as we were referring to them as Dubai chocolate influencers, there should be a better name we should say for them, but, you know, influencers that are pushing this, you know, fake
influencers.
this fake agenda onto you, like of just you need to consume everything, and the trend changes every single week. And there are good influencers out there who will push, a more sustainable lifestyle that is, healthier. But what I have personally found on the internet a lot is a lot of those influencers do not actually have a good message. A lot of them, they're kind of almost pushing, there's some of them that are pushing kind of eating disorder ideologies where it's like telling you to like skip meals or showing you these completely unrealistic portion sizes, and it all just circles back to thinking for yourself and invest in your own education and how to and when you do, you'll understand how to properly take care of your own body, and you shouldn't have to rely on people on the internet, because of course it is a good source for knowledge and for people to copy and give you ideas. It's always it is essential to think for yourself and do your own research before you do anything that could be harmful, especially something about like your body and your diet, like that. And there are good influencers out there, but a lot of them, most of them are very fake and they just want your money.
Right, so Holly, what do you think marketing companies can do to like promote healthy eating and healthy lifestyles?
The truth is, if there was a good sustainable company who is making actual healthy food, a good option for them to reach today's youth is through them influencers, because as much as those influencers are currently pushing that garbage onto you, they don't care for the garbage. All they care for is money. So if you offer them money, well, they'll say that's grand too. And if that is actually a good product, then if you know in your own mind that this is a good product and this is something that you want to get to people, that is a good way to do it. Or kind of, I'd say that's a good way to reach the slightly older youth, so teenagers and young adults, even on spaces like TikTok and all. It's becoming more open to even older people now. And I think that's a really universal way to reach everyone. Obviously then television is always a great option. Everyone, not everyone, but majority of people would watch television. It's more just like marketing is marketing. Like if you're gonna start a business, you market anything almost the same way. You just need to push it into people's faces enough and prove to them that it's good and they will buy it.
I think something marketing companies can do is, for example, for teenagers, maybe have it on what Holly was saying earlier, social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, or I don't know any other ones, but for maybe younger children, like posters. They can like design posters in their school for like a competition for healthy eating.
They would need to be invested in people, and they would need to be invested in local communities, and they would have to obviously take money and put it into communities, whether that be to encourage children, start programs in youth clubs and in schools, where it could be like art competitions and stuff like you had mentioned, or little projects. Even I remember when I was younger, I can't remember what it was, but it was some water brand in my school, and it was like you had to make something out of like the used water bottles competition. It's like things like that to get children more involved and more aware of your brand. It's not all just about colours and billboards and ads. It's all about getting involved with people.
I think exercise is also a great thing to do alongside a healthy diet.
It can be fun, like going out a walk with your friends, or joining a youth club and doing something fun.
You're better to be addicted to exercise and working out and bettering yourself than being addicted to anything else. And exercise is always something that should go along with a healthy diet, because people, as the old saying goes, abs are made in the kitchen. If you want to look good, you got to eat good and you got to train good. It doesn't matter what you're doing, running, walking, playing football, basketball, tennis, badminton, cricket, going to the gym. Even if you just go on the bike in the gym for maybe 10 minutes a day, you're still working out, you're still doing something, your body is still active, you're still burning calories. I mean, people who do marathons, people who do sprints, people who do running are impressive. Exercise is great for your mind. Exercise is great for your mental health because it releases positive dopamine into your mind. It releases, as dopamine, as you should know, is the motivation chemical. It's the chemical that sitting in your bed, you're scrolling your phone, you're eating unhealthy, you're 5 million electronics all around you. You're getting all these short bursts of dopamine. It's messing with your mind. It's not good. It's not good for you.
Young people like myself can't actually access the gym, and even if we could, we need to pay for it too.
In school, obviously you have to do an hour a week minimum of exercise, and also there's free extracurricular options after school of exercise, different sporting clubs. You have those options under the age of 16. After 16, you kind of leave school. Maybe you might stay on, but you probably will leave school. You might get a job, then, you're losing a lot of the stuff that you once used to be able to do for exercise, which is why then the gym is more for older people, as well as the gym is more based around, I find, obviously there's stuff there for cardio, but a lot of it is about building muscle, and building muscle is obviously adding weight onto your body. And until your bones are fully developed and your muscles are fully developed, that is not very good to do for your body, because it's you could be 100 pounds of pure muscle, or you could be 100 pounds of pure fat, and it, as a young child, it's still taking all of that blood to pump around your body, and it's still all that weight on your bones. Even then, for the gym, for cardio as well, and it's okay to build muscle here and there, because you need to have a little strength, a little meat in your bones. There is under 16 options available in most gyms, especially in council run ones. So even in Derry, Templemore and Foyle Arena do 2 nights a week where under 16s can go to the gym.
Thank you so much for watching, and we all hope you can change one small thing in your lifestyle or habits. Bye! Bye!